All right, live. Look, 1, 2, 3 seconds. We're live right now. Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. And again, one more time, here we are in a series of 100 Days of Immigrants, beautiful stories. And today, look at this weather. We're in Houston, Texas on a Sunday afternoon. It's about 3 p.m. over here in Houston. For those who are joining, like my sister just joined, so say hi to my sister.
Hey, Diana. All right.
Thank you so much for joining us again today. And today I have the pleasure and the happiness to introduce a friend of mine that I not only is from a country that I just told him right before, getting on board, from a country that I really want to visit very soon, but also we share the same industry. Real estate. That's what we do, and that's what we love. That's what we became good at it. And I don't know if we work together or not yet.
We should work together.
But eventually we will. So to do justice, we try to keep it short. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself? And if you don't do the justice, I'll ask the questions.
Thank you.
Hello, Mariana. Welcome to our
This is a real pleasure. I should say the pleasure's all mine. We've known each other for what, a couple of years now?
A couple of years now.
And I want to acknowledge you for what you do, first of all.
Thank you.
I mean, this is just fantastic. I mean, everything from who you are in real estate and entrepreneurship, you're wired in stuff, and then your core
I'm paying him a lot of money for that.
No, he's not paying me. He's lying.
Lunch.
And I've actually recommended people to you. And if anybody is out there who doesn't know about We Co-Work, you all need to check it out.
And Wired International. We co-work the offices,
right.
And Wired International for our real estate.
And it really is like probably the best concept I've ever seen. There's nobody in Houston doing this, as far as I know. Right?
Wow.
Just sharing office space.
Thank you for the appreciation. But I know they want to know
about
Albania and your name. How do you pronounce your name? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, correct pronunciation of my name is Klodian Hoxha. Klodian Hoxha.
Okay.
I go by Ian, actually, it's a professional name, or the American pronunciation is Klodian Hoxha. Whichever, it works. It's all good for me. So what I do is I do real estate. I've been doing real estate for the past 8 years. That's how me and Juan actually met, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it a lot, actually. And
there you go, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me too.
The reason why I like it so much, man, is because I never actually had my own room growing up.
Okay. Wow.
It's like, I was, so I'm from Albania, and, in Europe, space is a little bit limited, so we lived in a small apartment with my family, and, I would watch movies growing up, and some of them were American movies, and I would see these kids with their own rooms, and, I would see what they put on their room, so I would, dream about having my own room.
Wow.
Because I used to share space with my brother, and it was like the living area. And so for me, they stuck with me. So when my parents got their first home and I got my first room, which I was about 21 actually, I lived at home, and I was heavily impacted by that, and I actually took on a commitment, and the commitment was that I was committed that everybody, especially the immigrants, actually live the American dream, and that is to have their own home. There is no more deeper feeling, being more grounded to this country than actually being a home buyer. So, and that's what attracted me, and that's what I love about real estate.
So, tell us a little bit how you and your family ended up in Texas.
Obviously,
it wasn't your decision. It wasn't
my decision. Well, it was my decision to come to the
By the way,
States
that's a beautiful story. And I don't know, Mariana Cortez says Albania, and I wrote Albania.
Albania, yes.
So thank you. I don't know. I wasn't making sure. Maybe I made the mistake. But thank you, Mariana, for the appreciation. What a beautiful story. But tell us a little bit how you ended up in Texas, in Houston.
Absolutely. So first of all, for those of you who don't know where Albania is, we're actually located north of Greece, west of Macedonia, and across the street from Italy. So we're in more like Southern Europe, actually. It's considered to be Eastern Europe, but it's more like...
It's called the center of paradise, and it's the nucleus,
Yeah, well, I like it, so hopefully...
No, you mentioned Greece, Italy, and then you have above all these beautiful countries.
Yes. It's a beautiful... Albania, it's a beautiful country. We, as far as cuisine, it's kind of like a mixture between Mediterranean and Italian, so you can't go wrong with either of those. So Albania was communist actually until about 1990. And
Maria Franic in Croatia, so she knows probably a lot about...
Croatian, yeah. I love Croatian people. I love most Balkan people anyway. Actually, everybody was Balkan. So we were communists, and after the fall of communism, we were introduced to the lottery visa. So I don't know if anybody's, for those of you who are not familiar with the diversity lottery that goes on, some of the Balkan countries, I know Ukraine participates heavily in that. And what that is, it gives people the opportunity to become American citizens. So you go through a lottery process. And so early 90s, we actually, my father applied, and we became part of that, and that's how we first came here. Initially, I lived in Philly.
Philadelphia. That's where you guys get here first, to Philly, or?
Yes.
Okay.
So I came in Philly, it was back in 1995 actually, and oh my gosh, what a culture shock it was for me. Coming from a small country in the Balkans, just overthrowing that communist era, approaching the new democracy, and I was dropped here at the age of 13. It was
so I was curious. I actually didn't know if you were 2, 3, or 5, or 13. So
I was 13.
Wow, you were 13.
I was 13. So I was at the age where I was kind of like establishing my identity, and so at that point, I started like embracing this new culture. Initially, it was really difficult, as you would imagine, but I liked Philly quite a bit, but once I got to Houston, it's like, wow, I should have been here.
Yeah, but how long did you guys live with your parents in Philadelphia?
So we lived there till about 1998.
Okay.
And then we moved here.
So you moved here when you were what age?
I was about maybe 16 or 17.
16, so
yeah,
shortly.
16. Yeah, about 16
Welcome,
years old.
Tammy. Welcome, Cynthia.
Welcome, Tammy.
We got people in Houston, people in Arkansas, people in Croatia, people in all over the place. So appreciate. Now, you, in my opinion, were the one that brought America to your parents, because they actually have lived still longer in Albania than in the U.S.
Yeah, that's
Even
true.
though you've been here for 15 years or plus. Your parents, how was the combination of bringing the Albanian culture, what that for many is still unknown because it's a small country, we know that for sure, and contribute to your school environment, to your community, your neighborhood, your friends, and then bringing America to your parents?
So, and this goes for a lot of people that grew up in, with immigrant parents. It's really difficult. Initially, it's very, very hard because, your parents have the old school mentality. So you're essentially, what happens for somebody who's like me, who was, here I'm 13 years old, I'm in a culture I don't know, I don't have much support, my parents don't know about this culture, and so on and so forth. So it's, like you're between a rock and a hard place, because your parents don't know this culture, especially mine.
Correct.
So it was very difficult. They were being introduced to concepts that never before they understood. They didn't know, and I didn't know either. So it was difficult to kind of like walk them through it. Initially, I didn't really. I took a lot of steps back, and I wasn't participating in a lot of stuff at school. Because number one, I didn't know how to.
Okay.
Number two, I was like, well, my parents are not okay with some of these things.
Okay.
Because when my parents were in a culture that was, for the most part, more liberal than what they were used to.
Okay.
For the most part, being in the communist regime, we were more conservative.
Coming to a totally full capitalist.
Full capitalist, full.
Economy.
Like for example, one thing that I was, kind of like dealing with at that age was, the whole the concept of dating. My parents were not used to having younger children, in their eyes I was a child.
Correct.
Here I am trying to like learn dating,
At a younger age.
Well,
also.
It's not young for American standards.
For Americans, but your
16
parents.
or 17 years old, my parents, there was a lot of, they didn't understand dating. What does that mean? Are you getting married? This is too much. Are you, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Like, what do her parents do? And I was like, whoa, well, I'm not really sure if that's where we're headed here.
Now, for those who, because I'm trying to capture as much as I can right here. I know we can sit here for hours. For those who would love to visit Albania, tell us 2 or 4 things that will, impact anybody's,
Well, the number one
interest.
thing about Albania is we are very, very friendly people, and especially towards Americans. We have, a lot of Westerns that are coming in, but especially with America, there's a very good relationship. By far, hospitality is the one thing that we're very, very proud of. It's a country with a lot of culture, a lot of history, phenomenal food, and most importantly, I think it's important for a lot of people, it's very, very affordable. You can have a really good vacation that you
give us an example right now, an exchange rate. Let's say if you're in the U.S. and you spend on a meal $15 for a plate, or 12 or whatever.
Let's just say with about $20, maybe $30, about 4 people can dine very easily, very comfortably. and you can find.
I want to go now.
Very good, absolutely.
Especially with exchange.
I told you, I'm going to get married next year. You're welcome. You know,
we were
come
talking
by.
about life before. Obviously, he's also a life coach by nature, and now going through in depth into that arena, which we appreciate because we talked about it many times, and he's helped, you know, and spotlighted our business in real estate, in the co-working office space, and also as a human being, as a person. Now, switching a little bit, obviously, you know, affordable, beautiful. I got friends that I've visited for work, and they told me, "Oh my God, you need to go because it's all these underrated places." Are sometimes the best. You know, I'm not saying anything against New York City or Paris, because
but they're more established. You know,
I like them.
Yeah.
But then you go and find all this architecture and all these, you know, unknown factor, which in my opinion makes a place very beautiful. Now let's talk about into your professional arena. Here we are, and if you allow me 2 seconds, if you just move for a second, here we are in this amazing townhouse complex near the center of Houston, Texas. There it is, and the little smart car in the back. We're gonna do just no worries. We're gonna link the property. We're gonna link some more photos. We both work in real estate as a practitioners, helping others. In my case, trying to, you know, cooperate with brokers and realtors succeed in their own practice. Tell us a little bit how you ended up in real estate, and then we'll talk about this amazing property that you have in Houston, Texas.
Well, you know, we have this thing in real estate. It's like nobody grows up to be a realtor, right? It's not like a child dream. I actually did because of what I just shared with you.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was. I was very passionate about exactly what you just said. I really wanted people to have their own home. I feel like that was the American dream for a lot of people, not just those people who aren't immigrants. So I actually did a lot of studying because so what I did was I actually was, you know, just kind of like, we call it farming in our industry, but I was looking around at different places, and I would imagine what it would be like to live here. And so what I did was I was doing a lot of research, and I purchased my first condo actually in the Galleria, not too far from here.
The Galleria is a very, very beautiful area there's a lot of residential, commercial. There's the mall. There's a shopping center which is very famous for people to come and shop there, which is maybe 5 minutes from here.
Yeah,
so you bought your first house in the area?
Yeah, my first condo was really, really small, and so I purchased that, and I liked the process of it, and I was like, I could do this. So I started getting interested, and I found out how many classes I needed, and once I actually took the classes, I was a natural. I loved it. More importantly, because I really wanted to be in contribution to people. Like, I really wanted to contribute. I would talk to people and would say to me, I don't know if I can purchase my own house. I'll say, how do you know? Have you talked to anybody? Have you talked to any mortgage people? Have you talked to any credit people? And they'd say no. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. We should link you up with people. So I was in contribution, and I was actually helping people get connected. And then before you know it, there you go.
You helped somebody achieve their dreams, and yours will be achieved too.
It's like they raise a family in that house. Memories are being built.
For those who don't know, a realtor is a person that works in the sector of immobiliario. For those who speak other languages, it's closer to that word. And then represent buyers and sellers, and, you know, obtaining their dreams. Right. Now, I appreciate the fact that you mentioned, hey, nobody says, I'm gonna go and become a realtor. You know, realtor is the denomination that I call ourselves real estate professionals, in my opinion, because everybody thinks of us, oh, real estate, money hungry people, and I think that's such a misconception.
There's been people in our career that haven't been as honest as possible. You like to think yourself as a professional. I actually like to think of myself as a consultant or an advisor. I don't even want people to use me for my services. I would love if you do. I would absolutely love if you do. Mm-hmm. But if anybody has questions, I make myself available. Ask any question that you want.
He does, for sure. And he's not. No. I know he does, because every time we think of him and we text him, and he's like completely available because
I just want to make myself available. I don't even want people to use me for my service. I would love if you do, but I don't want that pressure of, oh my gosh, I'm gonna call him and he wants to sell me something. I don't want to sell you nothing. I never sell you anything. I just want to match you up with the right property. I just want people to be...
Time is the only asset that we have right here. Now we're going to shift to another question, to his second talent and passion, which is, you know, a life coach or entrepreneurial, you know, spirit with helping others, which is evident.
Absolutely.
It started in real estate, but now you're expanding.
You know, I have a passion. You know, I'm committed to people living a good life, and you know, a lot of my things that I've kind of went through life have taught me a lot. Plus, I've taught myself quite a lot of things. I think you and I have walked the same path actually when it comes to that.
True.
You know, it's like we have a very small time in this world, right? Like a very short amount of time. Make the most of it. Like live passionately. Like I sometimes I pass through cemeteries and I say to myself, but what if people actually did not take their dreams to the grave? Like, what would be possible if everybody actually realized their dreams? Will we find a cure for cancer? Will we have peace in the world, right? So that's what I'm passionate about. I want people to get to the next level. I want people to live the life that they're committing themselves to live.
So in regard to that, what we're going to be doing is two things. Number one, the apartment, if you are in Houston, Texas, and if you're looking for a rental, this place is freaking phenomenal, because I know how I've also helped others before, you know, acquiring and selling these properties over here. This one is a one bedroom for this. So the link is right here. Please go check it out. Share it with your friends. Maybe you want to talk about commission. I don't know how that works. You talk to him directly.
Yes, please inbox me. Yes, we have a one bedroom apartment that is being leased here in it's between the Galleria area and the West Chase, very close distance to the city center, which is a very hot area.
If they want to find information about your coaching, and if they want to contact you, via what's the best way you have?
Facebook, absolutely. Klodian Ian Hoxha. You can inbox me, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you. And I think Facebook is the best media for me.
By far. Even somebody was saying that, you know, you like rap, you like electronic music, you like vallenato, which is in Colombia, but everybody has this necessity nowadays to communicate and utilize all these platforms, which is Facebook, who doesn't discriminate if you like rap or you like electronic or rock. You know, we have these means which some people hate and some people love. I've been able to have conference calls with friends, family, and loved ones like my grandmother, who is 99, through this device. So I'm not cursing the technology. Now, since we want to keep it short, you know, short and sweet, any questions, please add him as a friend, ask him any questions. He is an abundance of energy and knowledge.
I'm paying him a lot of money, by the way, just so you guys know.
We love the comments here. I know it's Sunday, you guys are somewhere else. Before we go, don't forget, we're going to put more pictures of the place. What message can you leave the audience with today?
Absolutely, since we're in the whole, you know, theme of immigrants, love each other, guys. This country was built upon immigrants. We're not bad. There's bad apples out there, yes. But we have been detrimental in building this country, and we will continue to be detrimental in building this country. I actually love this country for the opportunities that it's presented myself with, my family, and everybody else. We're going through rough times, I know. Let's hang in there, let's hold hands. We can all do this, we can all get through. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, man. Man, give me a hug.
Absolutely, man.
Wow, this is like, I'm stealing the energy now.
Absolutely.
I gotta go run to meet another client,
man.
go to a conference call. Guys, thank you so much. If you think this video has any kind of value to you and your friends, like it, comment, and share it. Thank you, guys.
Have a great one.
Bye-bye.